welcome back to the adventure, everybody. Today we got another comedian. Big surprise. We don't ever have those on the show. All right, that's a lie. That's pretty much all we ever talk to because they're more interesting than everybody else because we're fucking weirdos. But this is a local comedian to us, which is awesome. Definitely love repping some of the local peoples. We got Sister Lulu on the show today. Why don't you give all the people that listen to the show a little introduction to yourself? You know, how long you've been in comedy and all that other crap.
Okay, all of that crap. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Sista Lu. And the reason why I call myself Sista Lu is for the simple fact that I have never met a stranger, and I earned that name. So I've been in comedy for a few years. I've hosted shows for over 20 years. I just love talking to people. I was born with my mouth open, okay? So
All
there's
right.
very little, yes, there's very little that you could bring to me that will turn me off, I guarantee you. And I may have experienced it, or the statute of limitations I might have to,
Yeah,
cross away from.
I get you. Hey, I'm so far outside of my statute of limitations. I ain't got to worry about nothing.
Oh
I'm
man, that shit
free.
is real.
I'm free, man. I'm telling you,
I
man.
can't go to jail. I can't
Uh-uh.
go to jail.
I'm too white for jail to be real. I mean, like somebody would think I was a sheet or something, try and use me as a pillow. Not that there's much here to lay on, but whenever you're this pale, you get mistaken for linens sometimes.
You never know. They might find that extremely attractive. Like,
Man,
oh, look at
I'm
him.
not trying to find that out neither. I've had a good time every time I went to jail, but I'm not trying to go back.
Okay. Shit, honey, I got a 50-inch ass. I need to stay out of the reach of any predators,
Yeah,
okay?
them ladies will get you quick.
Honey. Like, wait a minute. But anyway, hello everybody. Like I was saying, my name's Sista Lu, and I love making people laugh. That's like the thing that I just do naturally. So when I start applying some techniques to it and a little bit of timing, I could get paid for it. Who knew?
Right? Weird, huh? You
So
make
I'm
yourself.
looking forward to spending this time with y'all. I guarantee you won't regret it.
Well, thanks. We appreciate it. We like to have a good off the cuff time here, so there's no weird stuff. 1 second. Yeah, look, if the cat's outside, don't open the door and let the cat in. Okay, it's okay. I love you. Yay, kids. So yeah. You're in Columbus, right? I'm not
Yes,
mistaken. Yeah, it's what I thought. Because I
yes.
know I've seen you all over the place, all over some billboards and stuff. How are you? Enjoying this muted return to comedy that we get to experience?
It's a necessary evil, simple and plain. I had not been involved in any kind of online anything prior to this, but as I saw things like kind of popping up, and I'm like, yo, I need to get some action. I felt like the Nigerian princesses on there. Like, wait a minute, I got to get in on this. Plus, as a comedian, we're extroverts. I was bursting at the seams. Like, I got to get this out. Somebody has got to hear me. So on came Zoom, and I think I did some on Skype at first, but Zoom has been like hitting for me all the way. Now, mind you, it has its minus and plus, pros and cons like anything else. But at the same time, it's safe and I still get to get my jokes. I'm gaining followers every week. So, I all new audiences and having the freedom to say what I want to say. And for the most part, it's not recorded. So I can't be, liable legally later on. So it's a
True.
win-win for me. Yeah.
Right.
Because sometimes I go a little far to the left. So who knows where this conversation will go?
Hey, shit happens. That's just the
Hey,
fun part. That's the fun part of life. Yeah, I can't do the online shit. It doesn't work for
I'm
me.
telling you, you know what I've had to eat today? I've had a handful of potato chips and some brandy. So there we go.
Hey, that's not a bad way to go. I was out at the Shrunken Head last night. The night before we recorded
Oh,
this. So it I'm staying away from the brandy and stuff. There was enough of that last night.
mhm.
But more power to
I
you,
wish I was
girl.
there.
Do you, man? I can't believe it was off the chains. I mean, it was a good time. There weren't
Oh,
probably about 30 people I think showed up. It was good, man. It was super good.
mhm.
Be back around some Columbus people. I've been hanging out in Dayton mostly.
Okay.
Lately, because they were They started going as soon from day one. They were like, all right, we're good. All right, gone. And Columbus was like, we're going to wait because, we got the
That's
COVID
Columbus.
hardcore. It's fine. I get it. I mean, the rules that we had to follow last night were pretty wild. So I don't know. I mean, but I'm happy the Zoom thing's working for you because, like I said, it's not. It worked for me while we were locked the fuck down and I couldn't go
Hmm.
anywhere. But I was also heavily alcoholized during that time period, so I don't know if it really worked that well for me or not. I just once I had to sober up and go back to work, I was like, this just doesn't feel right. I can't. I can't.
Right. Like, what is this? What is this?
But
I'm
there's
telling you, I ended up having to work yesterday, or else I totally would have been struck in head last night.
man, it was good.
Because it would be so good to see everybody. Like, I've been there a few times just hanging out with Trisha, but I would love to have been able to see everybody perform. And like you said, thankfully things are kind of opening up. I had a couple of bookings out in Indianapolis, so I traveled out there. Went out my comfort zone a little bit, but I stayed safe, and everybody was diligent with their distancing and sanitizing and all that good stuff. So, everybody made it through okay. But man, it was good. I did some outdoor mics, and I'm loving that. If I had to choose between the two, I would definitely go with outdoor mics.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Well, shit. Have you seen what they're doing in New York City? The rooftop shows.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, girl, it's off the chains, bro. My boy James Camacho has been doing
Yeah.
a lot of them. Another comic I know, James Mack's been doing quite a few. Like, since they can't really go inside in New York, they're just like, fuck it, we'll just go up on the roof of some brownstones and shit. You only got 10, 15, 20 people up there. You ain't got to worry about it. It's open air. You're in the sunlight. You got that gorgeous
Yes.
backdrop of New York City. Like, man.
That sounds like so much fun. I checked out a little bit. I'm in a couple of groups for New York, and I saw some things come up, but nothing like that. Oh, I love that idea.
There's so many
Love it. And I love New York too.
things. Yeah, I'm a fan of New York.
Hmm.
It's an
Greenwich
interesting
Village
place.
has been really good to me. They were very receptive to me. Um, you know how some areas are really tight or really thick and they have cliques and all kind of shit like that? Honey, they were like, yo, who's sister? Who are you? Oh, okay, yeah, come on. You know what I'm saying? So I would have loved to get on the rooftop. I'm gonna have to get with you on that later.
Man, I'll hook you up with a couple of people. I'll definitely let you give you their stuff so that way you
Hmm.
can try and link up with them because I'm not going out to New York to perform. I'm staying my ass right here in Ohio. Although I've been
Oh,
thinking about going over to Indiana or Kentucky, down to Kentucky. When I have the
okay.
chance, but I'm one of the unfortunate comics who has to have a full-time job because I have one of those stupid families that you
Oh,
somehow managed to get. So
darn.
I've got like these kids that I have to feed and shit, and it is what it is.
Yes, I
Uh,
totally feel you.
so I
I'm
don't.
so thankful. My job, they allow us to work from home
Oh, nice.
100%. So, baby, that has saved so much. Not in the aspect of traveling, because I just travel on the weekends. I don't go out, but just not having to go in the office, because in our office it was pretty nasty. Oh God, it was pretty nasty. Oh honey, I don't know if you work in an office, but baby, I can remember a conversation a lady was having with me about her cats, and she talked about how unruly they were, and it was their personality. This one fucking cat would climb to the top of her kitchen cabinet and piss down the door
Oh,
into
what
the
the?
toaster. Baby, I can't make this shit
Oh,
up. So
what
much
the
so
fuck?
that the cat piss shorted out the toaster, and she was pissed about the toaster. Oh, and
Why
guess what she
weren't you?
made at the potluck? Bread pudding. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I ain't
Listen,
eating
I'm so
shit coming out of that woman's house. What the fuck? Oh, hell
that kind of
no.
shit. So I don't miss none of that. Okay, I will have to slap their ass with a sanitized wipe every time I see them. I don't miss
I
any of that.
Yeah, I'm not a hugger, so I certainly don't. I'm much happier giving people elbows than
Mm,
they. Although I got one dude, man, and I'm pretty sure you know him, Money G. That
mm-hmm.
butthole will not hug you, no matter how bad you don't want. I swear to God, sometimes I just want to kick him in the shin when I see him. Just like, yo, COVID, bro, come on, we got you got enough facial hair on that thing to carry enough COVID to kill a whole fucking house of people, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I'm telling you, with
But
huggers, you know, we just don't understand. I'm a hugger. I'm gonna say former because I have adjusted. Fuck that. I have adjusted. But I can remember I always, oh my gosh, how are you? I want to hug. I hug everybody, or I used to. Honey, please.
no,
Nobody got time for that.
no, I ain't, I
I want
ain't,
to
I
take a
ain't
bath with
trying.
some bleach and shit. Mm-mm.
No, then you end up looking like me, and trust me, it's uncomfortable outside like this. When you burn in time lapse, it's not really a good time when you go outside. It's like, hey, it's daytime.
Right.
Fuck.
I feel for you, baby, because I keep a blanket in the trunk of my Jeep. And listen, if it's a nice day, I'm hopping in, I'm finding a park somewhere. I've been to every park, okay? I'm laying out. I got to lay out and get some sun, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
My
Well, I'm a
thing
bad
is,
albino. I like to be
dark.
outside way too much.
I'm one of those few black people without that complex, baby. I want to be dark, dark, like Lupita Nyong'o. You know what I'm saying? Oh, God. If I was that dark, they would not be in the room on Zoom for my ego and you. You understand what I'm saying? I knew what he was doing.
I mean,
I
yeah, I
totally
got
no
it's like my boy Jimmy used to always tell me, he's like, man, I don't go outside too much during the summer because I end up purple. And he ain't kidding, man.
yeah.
But you know, that's cool. Hey,
So my kids
I wish I could turn a color other than red. I mean, you know, more power to you, man. If you turn shades, that's cool. Going from like white to red sucks because there's no.
yeah,
And
it
then
sounds painful.
I tan red, so like I just stay red for a while. It's fucking weird. It's weird. It's like,
Damn,
you know,
that
good
sounds
times.
painful.
I tried the spray tan shit once though, and I ended up looking like Oompa Loompa.
Oh
Uh,
God,
but
yeah, don't
what's
do that.
no, no,
What?
it was a long time ago. But like, what's funny for me now
Okay.
is like you look at Trump and he does the spray tan, and he's got that like 1 inch line that goes all the way around his hair. And I'm like, every time I see it,
Mhm.
the first thought I get is like, yo, I was a tweaker back then, and my hairline looked good. You're the fucking president. What the fuck are you doing, man? Come on, you gotta step
Right.
up the spray tan game a little.
You don't think
Something.
they could have somebody to kind of get in there and maybe with a Q-tip or something, you know?
Something. I mean, come on, man. The guy's hair is not that nice to begin with. So I mean, I don't know what the fuck.
Is it his
Uh,
hair? Or what the fuck that is?
I don't. Or mop something. It
Something.
looks fake. That's probably the shittiest weave I think I've ever seen in my life.
It is the worst comb over or
It's
under or
so
whatever that
bad.
is.
I love whenever it's windy and his hair's all going fucking crazy and he's getting all pissed off trying. Poor guy.
Have you seen that
Poor guy.
video where it actually kind of like lifted a bit? Have you
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah. The one
Oh,
you
shit,
talk
good
about the one
shit.
where he was getting out of the helicopter and his tie was all half undone and he was carrying the hat and he was looking all fucking pissed off and shit and his hair's like, wah. Fucking he looked kind of like that what was that? It was a cartoon in the 90s. It was this fucking comedian who had this character. His name was like Ed or something like that. And he had like this
Yes. It
one.
was Martin Short. It was
Yeah.
Martin Short. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love him.
That shit was,
And he had
that's what he
the hair.
looks like.
Oh,
Oh, good times. Good
I'm
times.
telling you.
So, do you have you been doing any shows here in Ohio at all? I mean, like, have you been getting out?
Um,
Because I know, like, dude's been throwing a bunch of shows over at Eclipse, little
mhm.
Caribbean joint up in the continent.
You know, what's been happening for me more locally are private shows.
Oh,
I've
right
done a
on.
bunch of birthdays, backyard barbecue, you know what I mean? I've done a retirement party. I
Oh
get
yeah.
booked for those a lot and I love it. So I did kind of put the word out that I really was focusing more on outdoor shows. And I do get calls about the indoor shows, but by that time I'm already booked on the outdoor shows.
Okay.
So I don't really, I don't really push it too much. I would like to go, I'd love to be a part of it. But I have that whole thing, like, do they have fans? Are people wearing masks? Because sometimes you go in the spot and it's like nobody has on a mask. They
I've
ain't doing
been,
shit. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, like, wait a minute, I need, so
Yeah, no,
for now,
there's been some shows that I've done since we've been allowed to go back and perform, and you're just like,
mm-hmm.
I'm just this desperate. Fuck it. Oh, fuck, I'm already here. It's been a 3-hour fucking drive. Fuck. fuck, I'm not. Fuck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you. I mean, I'm just, it's,
I
I
mean,
don't
it is a
fucking,
pandemic, you know.
well,
It's
part of
just a
me,
thing.
part of my, part of my thing is whenever all this shit first started, you know, I kind of bought into the whole herd immunity thing, you know? I mean, they're like, we all have to get it at some point. There's not going to really be any way around that until we get a vaccine. And now they're like fast tracking a vaccine, which makes me fucking paranoid. So
I'm not doing that shit.
I'm almost in the boat of like, I would rather have it so I can just get it the fuck over with. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, if you pay
Listen,
attention to what motherfuckers have been saying to do, it's really not that hard to get through. Like, you just got to have enough vitamin D. And I'm not talking about vitamin Dick, the shit you get from the sun, people.
I've been getting that too.
You know what I'm saying? You can get the vitamin Dick, but that might give you the COVID too. So, you know, as long as you're taking the vitamin C, you know what I mean? Staying healthy,
Mm-hmm.
eating, doing the shit you got to do. Uh, fuck, I heard this doctor said even going outside every day for 5 minutes and just being in the sun will help you
Yes.
not get fucked up with COVID, because
And
that's
I'm
like,
telling you.
so I mean, if you're doing all this shit, which is kind of how I've been trying to operate, like, you should be okay. And I've seen comics who have caught COVID, like Brendan Schaub caught that shit and was
Mm.
good in 3 fucking days, was out riding
Mm-hmm.
like 20-mile bike rides and shit. But then you got
Yeah.
other people, like I think his name was Michael Coe. He almost fucking died. So like,
Damn.
the shit's crazy.
You just never know.
But
I
I mean,
mean,
at some point you're gonna have to roll the dice on something. You're gonna get the vaccine or you just gonna get it.
let me tell you something, baby. I think I've had the shit. I think I've already had it twice, actually. I caught it on the plane going out to LA. I was performing around Thanksgiving last year, caught a cold. And I mean, it was aggressive. Like, I have allergies just regular, right? For me to
Yeah.
sneeze, that's just whatever. So I get there, literally, as soon as I land, I'm like, I'm feeling a little in my throat. And I'm like, oh God, this is fucked up. So I'm doing my home remedies and shit. Nothing's working. And that's how I knew something was wrong, because like normally you take a pill or two, you start feeling better. Shit. By the time I got to do my shows, I didn't have a voice. Like, I was really straining to talk. I was coughing, sneezing, whatever. Leave out of there, get back home. 3 days later, I'm back home in Ohio. Poof, it's gone. I go back for Christmas. As soon as I get there, I catch the cold again, you know? And I didn't realize it until the guy I was dating, he was like, how you catch the same cold twice? Because I lost my voice. And, you know, the sinus thing and coughing. And I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, shit. So, you know, I did my shows anyway. On my way home, I'm on the plane, and the lady came to sit next to me. And I said, you know, I'm so sorry. I got this cough I can't get rid of. And she said, well, I got the same cough too. And so I was like, oh, it must be the smog. You know, everybody's saying it's the smog. And she was like, shit, I'm from North Carolina. My whole family had this shit before I came. And I was like, oh, so that just kind of stuck in the back of my head, you know, because this
Yeah.
is like January. But then when all this other shit came out, and I'm like, yo, and then people were like, if you was sick around this time, and I'm like, shit, that was me. That was me. It was horrible, you know, for like at least a week, but still, I hope that's what it was. I hope I got past it and whatever, because we haven't had any issues with it, but it was just a cough that wouldn't go away, and the congestion, it just would not go away. And
Oh yeah.
I'm not a smoker, you know what I mean? So I didn't have anything like that. But as far as what you're talking about, that COVID fucking, baby, listen, the same dude that I was dating around Christmas time, I mean, all this shit started happening. We was like, okay, so, you know, we're systematically together at this point. So our relationship skyrocketed, okay?
That happened to a lot of fucking people where they're like, I know where you've been. Fuck. Okay. I mean,
You
shit,
know,
you watched Sam Morril and Taylor Tomlinson, like, just were like, fuck it. We're just gonna move in together and see what the fuck happens. And they broadcast that shit on Instagram. They were like, well, here
yeah.
we are, quarantined together, new couple,
Mhm.
hooray! And we're comics and we're trapped in a fucking house together. That shit was getting funny as fuck. They're I haven't paid attention, but I hope they're still together, you know.
I hope so too, but probably once this shit gets over, they won't be, you know.
Well, I
And it might be the
mean,
same with my situation. But listen, we did what we had to do. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
mean, yo, you can't just stop. I mean,
You know,
it's
he was into like the herbal stuff, and so, you know, every morning he was making me these concoctions with lemon and turmeric or whatever the fuck, I don't know. And he claimed that our physical activity kept our immune system strong. Hey, it is what it is.
Hey man, whenever you're rubbing the bacteria up against the other bacteria, you know what I'm saying? They get a chance to mingle, and that's just more
Yeah, they got shit.
bacteria. You know what I'm saying? That's
Look,
more
not so
bacteria
good.
that you good with.
Hey,
Cause they communicate and they're like, we're cool over here, you're cool over here. We'll just be cool. And then you know, the sweat exchanging. It's man, the shit gets nasty. That's why they call it the nasty. And it's a good way
hey,
to
oh,
I agree with them completely. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that it is exercise. You're getting the heart rate up, you know what I'm saying? It's some good
yes,
cardio. Fuck. They say
you
working
know,
out is important, you know? So
we didn't have to worry. Like, you know, we never had the conversation of what is this or where are we going or how is it. We don't even discuss that until this shit is over. Basically, that's what we're going to be doing.
I mean, why the fuck not? I'm married, so I'm fucked
God
anyway.
bless you.
Yeah, you know, it's a good time. Fortunately, my wife doesn't think I'm funny, so she never goes to my shows. So I do have a way to get away
Oh.
from the family, which is wonderful. No, I'm kidding. I love
Mm,
my family, but she really doesn't think I'm funny, so that's fine.
she does. She just doesn't want to tell you.
Probably. But you know, it's all good. It's all good. It is all good.
Mhm.
Just it's whatever. Uh, fuck it. You know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Give me 1 second. Yo, this light
Yeah,
is hot as hell. Either that or the liquor has got me sweating. Ugh. I just feel like I'm glistening. It's one thing you don't have to worry about with your skin. Like we get dark, we're shiny. Good God.
hey, it's a hell of a lot better than looking like you jaundiced or pink. I mean, like, I was talking to somebody after my set at that Shrunken Head last night, and he was like, "Man, you know, it's kind of hard for people to understand you're an albino whenever you're in pink light." And my co-host, who you know, is on the show
Oh,
sometimes and sometimes not, because he's also a videographer. He's like, yeah, man, on every podcast episode, you're fucking pink. Like, it doesn't matter the lighting. He's like, so
oh.
I feel like anytime I'm on film or camera or any of that kind of shit, it's like I almost feel like I just came out of the womb. You know, that like that weird like pink newborn look. So I
Mhm.
would prefer dark and glistening over
So you mean
slimy
to
and
tell me like they can't find the lighting to cancel? I thought there was lighting to like cancel everything. To
I'm sure there
you know.
is, but you know, I'm such a lazy bastard whenever it comes to most of like the show setup and stuff. I mean, the whole show is meant to be like a raw experience for people to
Mm,
consume, you know what I mean?
the
It was
real.
originally like well, yeah, it was originally an idea of like I'm just going to fucking find random ass people all over the world to talk to just to prove that you
Mhm.
can fucking talk to anybody about relatively anything. And
That's right.
then COVID hit, you know, and I was like, well, fuck it. Now none of the comics that I know have anybody to fucking talk to. So I guess I'm just going to start talking to all of them so we don't fucking lose our minds.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so and that's kind of what I've been doing. But shit, I've talked to all kinds of crazy fucking people doing this, and some of them it's like they've been on their phone in a van because he lived in it with some birds. He was in Paris. He was awesome. He's like this financial dude
Yeah.
who like runs like all these portfolios for these like fucking super rich people, but he doesn't want to be tied down, so he lives in a big ass van. He's got himself a little boat and he's got a couple birds, and that's just how he rolls. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
I
Fuck
know chick
yeah.
is doing the same thing. What I don't get it.
I mean, I get it. I traveled a lot whenever I was younger. Like my comedy origin is similar to the dude that's on YouTube now that sells cleaner. I don't know if you've
Mm,
seen, you know, that guy, except I did that for 10 years with magazines.
I've heard about that guy.
He's fucking hilarious. And he uses all of the tags that we used whenever we were going door to door. I mean, that motherfucker spits them out so fast.
Mm,
And you know, it's cool watching him. He's still out there getting it, just selling the shit out of cleaner that really works. But uh that's where I got started. So I like the traveling thing. Trust me, I wish I would fucking do it in a heartbeat. I keep telling my wife, and I don't know if she believes me or not. I'm like, as soon as the kids are gone, We're buying an RV and we're gone.
I'm with you there. RV all the way.
Like in the
All the
van thing,
way.
that's not even really a bad idea. Like I know a couple
Yeah.
people who are doing that here in the States now. Like they're in the middle of putting their vans and stuff together. And
The van thing just seems so small. I guess I'd have to see how they put it together. I love the idea of the RV, because it has like a bathroom and, a couple of
all that shit.
options.
Right.
But the van, that feels like, whew, I don't know.
I mean, it's cramped. Yeah, it's smaller, But
Mm,
there's ways around it, you know what I mean? Because you can hide shit. I don't know how couples fucking do it. I would go insane.
mm.
Being trapped in that small of a space with my wife. Yeah, that would be fucking horrible. Not because of
So this
her,
is a
just
little bit
got
too close. That's like being in
just
jail,
a
right?
little bit too close to anybody for real. I mean, that's a one person adventure, but the RV, you got more room. I mean, I lived in a van for a little while. It wasn't really that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
you don't realize how much room you have in those motherfuckers until you actually live in it. And you're like, God, it ain't that bad. You can like camp a
could be
lot and
true.
shit. It's not too bad. But I'm too old for all that shit now, so I'm cool with the RV because it sounds way more comfortable. Uh,
Yeah, you get a
and
TV, and
right, you got the satellite and shit. You got, like you said, the bathroom, which is incredibly
mhm.
important whenever you don't want to squat down behind somebody's garage or some shit like a
Believe me,
heathen.
I've had some squatting adventures. That shit's not cool.
No,
Not
I
cool.
mean, no, it's especially, man, for like, how you see people on online get caught shitting in people's yards and shitting out like homelessness is a problem. That shit literally happened to me in fucking Albuquerque, and the dude was super cool. He was like cleaned it up and then gave me a bunch of shit because I was homeless as fuck.
Oh,
The dude was cool as shit. He was like, "Why you shitting?" And I was like, "Cause I ain't got nowhere else to shit." And you see the shit that wasn't staying in there, bro. Sorry. Like,
right. Why you sitting? That is hilarious.
he was like, "What were you gonna wipe with?" I was like, "I got that leaf over there." He was like, "Ah, fuck."
For real, the leaf.
He's like, "Yo, you got to do what
Not
you got to
even
do,
baby
bro."
wipes.
Man,
Like,
this was like 2000. You didn't think
oh,
about
okay.
baby wipes back then. Like back then,
You
uh,
just
we were
gotta get it.
heathens back around the turn of the century. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was savage as fuck back then.
I was talking to my little cousin about that the other day, and I was like trying to say something was 20 years ago, but in my mind, I'm thinking 20 years, not 20 years being 2000, like 20 years like the 90s. And I was like, fuck, 20 years ago was 2000. Like, I remember having a party for Y2K, like, and we were all like, yo, the lights is going out. We're going to go out and tear up some shit, and like nothing happened. So we was all like, oh, like,
yeah. No,
I'm
I was
telling the
up in Fort
story.
Wayne.
And he's all right. He's all like, I was 11 when that happened. And I was just like, fuck, like, oh God.
Yeah,
This is crazy.
I was up in Fort Wayne. We were having a Y2K rave up there. It was fucking
Mm,
banging. We like went into it. We're like, all right, the world's fine. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna rage the fuck out. We got
yes.
generators just in case. And at 6 a.m. in the morning, whenever we walk out of this bitch all fucked up out of our minds, the whole world's gonna be over. This is gonna be crazy. And then we
Yes.
walked outside the club in the morning at like 6, and the world was still going. And we were like, well, that was a fucking letdown.
Right.
You know
We
what
were
I'm
ready
saying?
for it.
Hell yeah, we were gonna fucking go back to the
Shit. Not
Stone
not like now.
Ages.
Like, fucking pandemic caught us off guard. We were ready 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, now if it happened, you know what I'm saying? We're fucked. Like if we lose our technology, it's over for like 90% of the people on the planet. I was recording a podcast this morning with a dude in Malaysia. Like they're the only kinds of people that are gonna be cool because they're like, phone, fuck it.
Right.
Us poor people are gonna be like, how do I get to the grocery store? Where's the grocery? Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Like when we lose our Wi-Fi, it's over. Like, we were talking about that the other day, like, yo, like I love the convenience, and I've kind of always been like a little anti. I've always tried to like hold on to the analog and shit, but eventually you have to embrace everything. And honey, would say that they won't quadruple the rate for your internet next year. Like, if this shit continues, and more people are working from home. Like, who knows? $800 a month for internet. Who knows? And we would have to fucking pay it or overthrow the government or something. I don't know.
Well, I did. Fortunately for us, like one of the few things that works well with our government is when businesses try to do some fucked shit like that, the government actually steps in and goes, "No, you can't do that." And in fact, since you tried to do that, you're gonna have to pay us a bunch of money to not completely take over your shit. And then they're like, "Fuck." So it's never gonna happen, thank God. But
hope not, honey, because this shit's scary.
I mean, they can't because it's become a public utility. They just haven't named it a public utility because, quite frankly, I don't think the government really wants to take away from the organization that already governs the internet. So, like, I mean, there's like an entire separate body. It's a nonprofit organization out in California, I think, that actually has control of the entire fucking internet. They issue all the IP addresses for everything. So why would, our government has no reason to let a company try and do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because then those guys in California, all they have to do is leave the fucking country, and then we're fucked. Fucked.
I'm hoping, I
did
learn a little bit about that stuff.
That work.
Kind of on the back end, when you were talking about the internet, the organization that kind of, on the back end, let me tell you, I had an ex. Oh my God. And like, you guys won't hear from him until I get famous, and then he's going to come out. Trust me. Oh God. So this motherfucker, he like took all these stupid ass pictures and he posted them back when it wasn't cool to post them. Everybody posts them now, but honey, so I'm online and I'm like asking everybody, like, oh, you got to go to California. You got to get these people. And they, so I went to them and they were just like, yo, anything on the internet belongs to the internet. Like, the fuck is that? Like, so one day I'm going to tell my story. But when I get famous, he's going to come out with his book. Trust and believe. He got some stories and they're all fucking true. But fuck him.
Whatever. We've all done some interesting things in our past. It's like that's one of the reasons why I started. Well, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I started the podcast, because I was like, I saw Joey Diaz out in LA and some of the shit that he's talked about on his podcast, and I'm like, well, fuck, I was a savage, but I wasn't that bad. So if that cocksucker can make it through life and not get fucking canceled, and they've tried, they fucking tried. Fuck, I should be fine. And yeah, like I said, statute of limitations already ran out years ago. I'm good. I can't go to prison for nothing. I ain't never killed nobody. So that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So, fuck it. All that shit's going to end up coming out, anyway, because somebody's going to fucking come out of the woodwork like you fucking said. Fuck. Some of those stories are going to suck to tell, though, but that's cool, too.
That makes for the juicy tell-alls. All these Lifetime movies and shit. Them motherfuckers are good.
Oh hell yeah! You're gonna get all
those. She had a lesbian lover, and she was such and such. Like, oh shit,
Oh yeah.
Just add spice to the life. Believe me, honey. When I leave this earth, it's gonna be so much shit. Like, y'all can't tell these stories until I'm gone. Okay.
Nah, I got 6.5 years of drug use. There's too many good stories in that 6.5 years for me to not just let it all fucking out. Although the only thing I'm actually worried about is if like there's some shit I don't remember because I was so fucked up for about 6.5 years. Yeah, whatever. That's why I call this show an adventure, because you never know what the fuck's gonna happen.
You never know. And that's the beauty of comedy, because I tell all my shit on the stage.
Hell yeah, me too.
You find a way to make it funny, and it sounds like, oh, it's hilarious, but really it was kind of drug-induced paranoia, but it's funny, so.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my co-host last night. He was at the Shrunken Head. It was like, because he's new to comedy, and I mean, I'm honestly relatively new compared to most people on stage anyway. Because, going door to door is a totally different kind of comedic muscle. You know what I mean? You got 30 seconds to be, you ain't got to do time. It's just like, motherfucker, laugh, now buy my shit.
Right.
And you know, but we were talking and he was like, so what stories do you do? Like, how did you get over being nervous? And I was like, well, first off, I don't know why you're asking me that, because I get terrified before I get paid to do a fucking show. Like, he's seen it. I go, it's crazy. My anxiety flies to, I have to, but I want that. It means I care, you know? So it's like,
That's
it, it,
right.
it fuels, right? So, and I was like, well, the first thing I did was I told this story about back in the day after I got sober one time, because I went to rehab for 2 months. I got out and I met this girl when I was in rehab, which was where I first fucked up.
I've heard about those rehab romances. Ouch.
Man, I'm telling you, she was hot though. She was hot
Oh,
as a redheaded little gothic girl with the pale. I was like, she looks like me, but with color in her head.
oh.
I mean, it was hot, you know. And I was this little metal kid back then, little punk rock dude, you know. So it was the same. She was like, you should come hang out at this place on Friday and Saturday nights with me, and it's a fun time. And I was like, sure. And then I ended up in a BDSM show on Friday and Saturday nights. Well, like there was one
Damn.
night, you know, I'm fucking wild. I'm not, you know, I have no problems admitting I'm a fucking freak. It's cool. I'm calm now that I'm old because I just don't have the energy for that shit. And my wife's not into it anyway, so whatever. But
If she does, you do it though. You know that.
yeah, I'm good. I'm too lazy for that shit now. But there was this dude who made, you know, this beautiful like 14-inch long oak paddle. He had worked on it for fucking ever, and you know, uh, I was the first person he used it. He just broke it on my ass like the first fucking
Dang.
swing. Yeah, he was mad as fuck, and I was dying laughing, and that made him madder. I'm just in there chained to this wall. Like, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have laughed because I was chained to a wall. Like, where the fuck was I gonna
Right.
go? But whatever, you know. And that was the first thing I ever did on stage. I just told that story, and it took about, you know, I took 5 minutes telling it, and people looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I figured I could never bomb worse than that after that. And that's what I told him last night, and he was like, "Oh."
Mhm.
That's what makes comedy so funny. You can fucking do whatever you want. Steve Martin started
Whatever.
anti-comedy back in the 80s, and that shit is still funny. Super funny.
Mhm.
There's a dude named Ed Smythe who kills the Zoom shows. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but like, he,
I've never seen him.
man, he is fucking hilarious. He does like all these different characters and stuff. And one of them he does is like this dude named Dimitri. He's like Eastern European. Uh,
Mhm.
he wears like a tinfoil hat. And what he puts like this whiteboard up right here, right? And he writes like all of his jokes on the whiteboard, like all the premises, all the tags, like the whole fucking shit. And he points at it as he goes through his set. So like if you're like a comic watching this shit, you're like,
Like literally, he's like,
yeah, like you were like literally walking people through fucking comedy, man. This is so awesome, and people just laugh so fucking. He's fucking funny. I love him. He's a good guy. He does so
Smythe,
many.
Smythe.
Yep, that's the fella. He's fucking funny, man. I
I'm
like him.
gonna check
He's a
it
good dude.
out.
I've been talking him up a lot on my podcast. I probably should reach out to him and get him on the show.
Yeah.
But you know, I forget about shit 5 minutes after I bring it up. I'm gonna write that shit down. That's why I got this piece of paper.
I use my recorder on my phone because you're right, I forget shit too. And then I set a reminder once a week to go back through my recordings so I can,
Oh,
because it'd be good shit. It'd be good shit, man.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
I got the same. I'm awful with that whenever it comes to writing too. So like I've got this stupid system where like if I'm out somewhere, I tell Siri to remind me when I get home, and then whatever the idea or bit is. So that way, like every time I come home until I transfer it to my notebook, it's like, hey motherfucker, remember this bit? Remember this bit? Remember this fucking bit? I'm like, God damn it, okay, I'll do it. Jesus.
I think
So yeah, I
improv
figured.
is the best. Improv is the best. I
I'm
get out
not.
there, interacting with people, and I'm saying, and they are dying. And in the moment, I'm like, fuck, I hope I remember this shit. Like, because I'm not recording it. You know what I mean? So I'd be
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm so bad about that, even on stage.
oh.
I'm horrible about that. I walk off stage, I'm like, fuck. I even had my phone in my hand. Fuck.
Like, what
And
did I say?
yeah, because
Mhm.
I will never remember that shit. And no way in hell. And I don't know, man.
Sometimes
I
it comes
just
back
can't.
to me like in a dream or something, or like a flashback. I don't know. Like you said, the drug thing. That it kicks on and off. You have moments of clarity and you're like, oh shit, I remember. Like I had one the other day because I do this bit about fellatio, right? And then it came back to me. The second part came back to me like in a dream. And I was like, oh shit, my vagina's a ventriloquist. Like, and I woke up and said that out loud. Like, fuck, my vagina's a ventriloquist. Like, yes. And then it all kind of, pieced together. So I'm like, yo, you just gotta piece when you can, wherever you can, okay?
Yeah, whatever you got to do to make it happen. That's why I don't understand a lot of the people who said that they couldn't write whenever they were locked down. I'm like, how do you not? What else did you have to
Oh.
do? What did you do with your time? Like, I get people who may feel that they don't have to write, but like, even the big name comedians that I, follow, basically we're all like, yeah, I'm just throwing out everything I was working on before this fucking started. I'm just gonna start the fuck over. Fuck it. So like, when I hear like people who are, open micers or whatever, who are like, no, I just can't write, man. I don't know. I can't find any inspiration in my
Nah,
house. And I'm like, are you
bullshit.
fucking kidding? Are you are you
They
not
didn't have it to
watching
begin
our
with.
president? Like, there you go. You don't even have to like hate the guy to laugh at him. Like, I think
Right.
he's fucking hilarious. His Twitter is beautiful. This shit is so funny. Like, I don't Twitter at all, except when Donald Trump tweets Law and Order. That's the only Twitter I do, because I just like fucking with him over that one tweet, because it's like, dude, you were basically plugging a show that has been around for like fucking 20 years. And that's really all you're doing, because nobody sees that. Nobody fucking sees that and is like, oh, he's talking about Portland, or he's talking about this, or no, everybody sees him say Law and Order and they're like, why are you fucking referencing a TV show? So that's what I say to him. It's fucking fun. He's never responded, but one day I'm hoping he's like, why do you keep harassing me about this fucking show?
You
That's
don't want him
the
to
end
respond to
goal.
you. It'd be Secret Service or some shit.
I mean, whatever. They're more than welcome. I don't have anything against the guy, really, at the end of the day, other than the fact he's a fucking racist idiot. But we knew that before he got elected. So
The only thing I give him kudos for is for getting there. Cause like for real, I thought this was a whole fucking joke.
Yo,
He said Mexicans were rapists. I said, oh, he's just here to talk shit. He's not gonna make it to the primary. And then they were like, yo, he's our Republican candidate. And it's like, whoa, wait. You know what I mean? And then he's elected. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was nuts. No.
I spent 10 years talking to people all over the fucking country. I haven't been to two places selling magazines. That would be Alaska and Hawaii. And trust me, when I saw him starting to run and the way he was running, I was like, well, there goes our political system for the next 4 fucking years. Nobody fucking wanted to listen. I knew he was getting elected because the fucking people buy into that shit so quick, and they don't even know why. Like, what made me get what he was doing was like, after I got sober, I became a hardcore Republican. I was like, small government is good. It needs to be responsible with our money, which our government isn't, It was more of like the traditional view of what Republicans are supposed to be. I was young and stupid and had no idea what the fucking Republican Party was. And as I progressed through life, was like, holy fuck, these people are crazy. So I left. And then, but knowing them as well as I know them, right? Like, I always had this, it was, against illegal immigration just because it was illegal. And I'm like, look, it's against the fucking law. We have to have some control with that shit, blah, 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 blah. And then I actually met somebody who was from Michoacan. And I was like, holy fuck, no wonder you guys literally all want to fucking come here.
Right.
It's the same reason my fucking family wanted to come here in the 16 fucking hundreds. Like, it sucks ass down there. People are dying. So it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Well, who am I to say that you shouldn't be able to come here? And if you never fucking create problems, why should we really have a problem with you being here? And then I found out like a bunch of people I knew were illegal as fuck. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck it. It's like
it's crazy.
The people who never get exposed to the rest of the world, like, they have no fucking clue. No fucking clue at all. So when a guy like Trump comes out and he's like, The only people that are illegally immigrating into America is MS-13, and they're all rapists. People get fucking scared of that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Fucking, it's the fear that our government uses to maintain order. It's the same shit. So of course he was going to get elected. And who was he running against? Oh yeah, Hillary. That was a really bad idea because
Oh
they
God.
flat out threw
Out of
Bernie
all.
right out the fucking window. Even though I don't know what 3/4 of the country was like, yeah, we'll vote for this dude. Why not? It's certainly going to be better than this fucking
Hillary
racist
was the
bastard.
perfect candidate to go against him. Like, oh my God. I
And
think that like it's there's some principles. I will say this: there's some principles from the Republican Party that I like. There's some from the Democratic Party that I like. But I kind of look at it as in your grandmothers. You always have that mean ass grandmother. Don't let you do shit, right?
Yep.
And then you have the super sweet grandmother that she gives you candy, whatever the fuck you want. She'll lie for you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But grandmother, she makes you go to bed at 7:00 and you have to watch Wheel of Fortune every night. Like it's kind of like, which one do I pick? Where do I want to spend the weekend? You know, same shit.
Yeah.
But
Most people are in the middle.
yet, not yet.
Do what?
We can't have a blend of the two. Like
No.
we never have a real strong independent candidate on the ticket. Like it's always either or.
Well, yeah, and that's because that's what people have been taught that is all that there is.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't aware that there's still a Nazi party as a political party in the United States. There's still a legal political entity here.
Mm-hmm.
People they're like, we hate white supremacists. Well, maybe you should get them out of politics because they have lobbyists. Like they have a political machine in the United States.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a member of the
I would have
U.S.
voted for
Pirate Party.
Warren. I loved her. I thought between the two that was kind of boiling to the top, I liked Warren. Easy breezy. You know what I mean?
I was
Or
a Tulsi.
Bernie.
I was ready to go for
Bernie
Tulsi
kind
and Andrew.
of.
Like Tulsi,
Oh, okay.
Tulsi was cool. Like I was all down with that shit. I mean, she's a veteran. She's actually still serving, as far as I'm aware. She's got experience in Congress. She's a good fucking person. I mean, like she was a good candidate. She knocked Kamala Harris out of the fucking running.
Is that the one that had lost her leg? And she was like talking shit to Trump, talking shit back to Trump. Like, so, was that the one you're talking about? Because I don't know her by name.
No, I don't think Tulsi lost her leg. Tulsi was the one that had like the little gray wisp from Hawaii. She's a congresswoman from Hawaii.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
She's the one that knocked Kamala Harris out of the race because she was like, yeah, you say all this stuff, but what about this? And she was like, and it's nice that and convenient that everybody's forgotten about Kamala Harris. But if you ask anybody from California, especially someone who's a person of color, what their opinion of Kamala Harris, it ain't good. It is not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't.
It's coming down to how are we going to go with it? Like, because if you ask anybody from Indiana, Pence was fucking, a tyrant.
Yeah.
So, like, which one, like, fuck. And I truly believe this shit, that Pence is like that older cousin that watched the younger cousin start all kind of shit with people that they can't beat any fucking way. And he's just sitting back waiting on Trump to fuck up just enough. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
so
you can see him
slide in. I really believe that's why Pence is here, for real.
You see him like anytime he's standing behind the president, he's always standing there. He's got his hands neatly crossed in front of him. His mouth is completely straight, and you just watch his eyes twitch from like straight forward over to the left. And he's like, just waiting, motherfucker. I'm just waiting, motherfucker. I'm just waiting. But dude, Trump's untouchable because he doesn't give a fuck. That's like the people who can't be canceled, like Joey Diaz. They don't give a fuck. That is the problem. And then we've got the other half of our political system not giving us an option. You got people like me who's like a member of a really weird political party that most people don't even know about. So I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know who the fuck to vote for. Like, it's just, yeah, man, fuck American politics. It's bullshit.
I'm telling you, if we could go, because I saw a meme about this, we could go like a year or two just with nobody in the office and just kind of let Congress and just kind of let them balance a few things, like something.
Well,
This shit is
we put too much emphasis on the wrong portion of our government. The emphasis that we should be paying more attention to is Congress, because they're the people who have been there for the past 40 years, not the president, who can't be there more than 8. You know what I'm saying? It's a different dude. You look at the countries that have similar political systems. I mean, like, granted, the United Kingdom has its fucking problems, but the United Kingdom has a variety. There's multiple different parties to choose from, and quite frankly, the minute I have been thinking about maybe living there one day, specifically because I watched their parliament laugh in the face of their prime minister whenever she was like spewing out some bullshit, and they all knew it. They were like, you really expect us to fucking believe that? You said this was a bipartisan thing? Fuck you. No, it wasn't. None of us want this shit, you stupid bitch. And like, over there, they don't have a fucking problem with that. Here in America, we don't.
But you also have to remember, like, over there, they slap a motherfucker in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Well, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, here we allow our political system to tell us that the president is the only motherfucker that matters. And the people who are actually building the laws and the legal system that we have to fucking operate in, they're just benign, and they're just there to stop the president from going crazy. When in reality they have, and they've made a 2-party system that's actually just a 1-party thing. It's not.
I would love a reset. Just
Hell
just
yeah.
clear all of that shit out.
Hey, we on the way to it.
For a minute.
We on the way to it.
Like, can we be single for a little bit? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we're on our way to it. George Floyd, as horrible as it is to say, that touched off some shit amongst Americans, tied in with the COVID, where we were like, wait a minute, our government's pretty fucked. I don't think we like this. And it's like, a lot of people have had problems with the rioters, not the protesters, the rioters and the looting and shit. And I have to remind people that, there was this thing called the Civil War. So obviously there is a time and place for some violence. It does have its spot. And then people are like, yeah, but that was over slavery. And and they were like, blah, 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 blah. And that was back then. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, how about this example from 1912 to 1922 in the state of West Virginia? My white family was fighting the coal miners because we wanted to be treated like fucking normal people. Because back then, if you worked in the coal mine, you lived in their house that they provided for you. They gave you money that was only good at their store. It had a horrible exchange. It was fucking slavery.
And here's the thing, the whole premise is you have to fight back. You have to revolt if you want change.
And that's the only.
We don't want to pay your taxes. We don't want to do all this shit. We about to go over here and do some whole other shit.
You kicked us the fuck out, and you want to fucking rape us? Fuck you, know. And now we're kind of getting back to that point to where people in the country are like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit.
I think that, for the most part, we have we were able to really, really pay attention to George Floyd's killing because of the COVID, because of the pandemic. Where everybody's online, and it really had an opportunity to touch everybody and touch on some things that was bothering a lot of fucking people. So that made all the protests really strong. But I think it kind of lost some of its steam because it's not in the forefront. It's not a part of the conversation. And so when I'm following up with like legislators and seeing how different things are being changed, different things, ain't nothing happened. They haven't changed any laws. They haven't made the body cams or police, aside from the cops that were directly, a part of it. But it's unfortunate. I'm glad that everything is kind of swaying that way and the focus is there. I just hope something more happens than just a focus.
Well, it's coming. I mean, anytime it happens now.
If I took off my drawers in the middle of Main Street, they'll look at my ass, but, then what? Like, what happens after that? Nobody cares why I was out there butt naked? No? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of hate to say it, but once a bunch of these old fuckers die, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be
I
fine.
hope so.
But,
I
you
hope
know,
so.
the world's a weird fucking place. And we're all pretty weird, especially compared to each other. So, you know, who knows? Where can people find you, Lou?
You can find me on Instagram _Sista SISTA_LU. Yes. Instagram is the best place to find me. I would say Facebook, but let me tell you a lesson that I learned about Facebook. Are you ready? Honey, please. Facebook, especially with all the haters. So, like, I had a Sista Lu page. I've had 2 different Sista Lu pages. They keep reporting my page for shit that I be saying that they don't like. And they're like, oh, she has a fake page. It's a fake name. So then Facebook is like, you got to send me your driver's license to verify who you are. Fuck out of here. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why would I do that? So
Yeah.
then I have to start a new page. So I have a whole separate page. You've seen my page.
Yeah.
I have a whole separate page with no Sista Lu on there, just for the simple fact of that. But the beauty of this is, and what I want everybody to take home is that your haters do you favors, because it allowed me to start over. And I had a lot of material on there that wasn't a good representation of my brand. So I have the opportunity to start over. I got shit fresh, and my Instagram is popping. Like I said, I'm getting followers every week. This Zoom and all of this other shit, yo, I can't beat it. Like, Facebook is cool, but it's just not the end all be all. It's probably on its way out. Actually, it's on its fucking way out.
I don't know. As a podcaster, I'm screwed. Stuck on Facebook. That's just
No, you'll be good.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
I'll be fine.
as far as the like interconnection thing, like you guys you have a podcast, so you'll be reaching a lot of people. But my pages were like at the local level, and I needed to make sure it got. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Different animals. Well, we'll make sure we include
Absolutely.
links to the Instagram in the description when the episode is released. We do greatly appreciate you being on the show, Sista Lu. And I hope to
Thank you
have
so
you
much.
back
This
some
time
other
went by
time.
way too fast. We are going to have to talk again sometime soon.
Indeed. You have a wonderful day.
Take care, everybody.
See you.